Hi everyone, this is DJ over at Kale Realty, and I wanted to quickly but thoroughly share what I believe is the most successful real estate referral strategy that I've been exposed to. And in fact, if you find a better one or if you think you have a better strategy, I would love to hear it because I'm always looking for cutting edge techniques like this. And it's so simple what I'm going to show you here in the next few minutes that I really hope that you implement it into your business. I promise you it will work. I've seen it work dozens of times, and I've worked with hundreds of agents my own. So anyone who actually does this typically finds success pretty quickly. So let's get to it. So this is what's called the advice script. And what we're looking here for is our clients or our prospects or even our friends and family to assist us to help find additional business for us, right? Sometimes this is called, how can I find my promoters? Well, this is a little different. So you certainly want people in your sphere of influence promoting for you, but this is, we're going to ask them a very specific question that will get them to think about how they can actually help you grow your business without promoting you. Okay? So it's kind of a unique twist. So here's how it works. You're first going to identify somebody that you really enjoyed working with. And we're going to identify this person as part of a group of people that you want to work more with. So for example, it could be you worked with somebody who was, for example, an attorney. And you said, boy, I'd really like to work with more attorneys. So you would find somebody who's an attorney who you've worked with, and you would call them up. Or another example is you find a first-time home buyer, and you've worked with them and helped them buy their first place, and then you would say, gosh, I really want to work with more first-time home buyers. Let's use that as an example. So you call up the person you just helped sell the home to, and you would say, hey John, this is DJ over at Kale. First of all, I hope you're enjoying the new home. I'm really excited that we got the place at the price you wanted for. And hey, the reason for the call is I was wondering if I could get your advice. I'd love to take you out for just a quick cup of coffee. I'm working on this thing, and I'd really like to get your opinion on it. And are you available in the next couple of days to spend 15 minutes with me? Now, what that's going to do is pique their interest. And when you ask somebody for their advice, it's one of the most complimentary things you can do. So if anyone's ever asked you for your advice on something that you're a specialist in, you know how good that feels. So just to go back to it, you're going to ask them very specifically, hey, I was wondering if I could get your advice on something I'm currently working on, this strategy or a plan, and I'd really love to get your opinion. Are you free? Okay, so put that in whatever words make sense, but the most important thing is I'd really love to get your advice on something, and it'll only take a few minutes. Okay, so they're going to agree, hopefully, to the meeting. You meet them at, Starbucks or wherever, and they come into the meeting, and then you're just going to ask them two additional questions. Okay, so here are the questions. Hey John, thanks for meeting with me. I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy. I'm currently working on my marketing strategy for this year or for next year. And the truth is, you are a great client of mine. And I'd really love to find more people just like you who are looking to buy their first home, renters. But I really don't know the best way to go about doing that. First off, do you think that's a good idea for me to find more people who are looking to buy who are renters? Now, of course, they're going to say yes, right? Because obviously the guy's going to say, yeah, no, I'm a homeowner. This is great. So the first question is, you say, I want to work with more X just like you. I want to work with more first-time home buyers just like you. The question is, do you think that's a good idea? And then you shut up. You don't say anything more. So, hey John, this is DJ, or rather, hey John, thanks for meeting with me. I'm working on my marketing strategy for next year, and I had such a good experience with you. I'd really love to work with more renters who are looking to buy. Do you think that's a good idea? Right? He's going to say, sure, it's a great idea. So then your next question is, well, hey, if you were me, how would you go about finding more of these people? And then you shut up again. Now, in this scenario, it's not as obvious what John might say back because we're talking about a non-specific group, people who are renting that might be looking to buy. But what's John immediately going to think? Well, does he know anyone that's renting that might be looking to buy? Right? So in that scenario, he might say, I've got a buddy who's in the same position I'm in and is looking to make a purchase in the next year or so. I should get you in touch with him. So that's a more one-to-one referral. But let's use the same example. Let's assume John's an attorney. So we're going to go back to the same meeting. We say, hey, John, thanks for meeting with me. I'm working on my marketing plan, and I had such a good experience working with you. And the reality of it is, I would just love to work with more attorneys because, gosh, I mean, if they're all like you, this was easy and fun, and I really enjoyed working with you. Do you think it's a good idea for me to focus on attorneys? Now, you should probably know that it most likely is a good idea to focus on attorneys because that's what you're looking for, but you're just looking for his approval on that. And if he says no, nah, you don't really want to work with attorneys, then say, oh, okay, well, why is that? And then when he explains it, say, well, if you were me, who would you want to work with? Who do you think is a good market? But he's going to say yes, of course. Attorneys, yeah, it's a great market. So then you say the second question, which we've already gone over, which is, if you were me, how would you go about doing that? And then you shut up. And you really shut up. And if he says he doesn't know, then you say, no, I totally understand. I don't know really either, which is why I thought maybe you would have a better idea than I would. But hey, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. So if somebody says they don't know, you can obviously always just say, oh, no big deal. I just thought I'd ask you. But what will happen is if you shut up long enough, their wheels will start spinning, and they will come up with an idea. Now, the reason why I even thought about this was I was getting my hair cut, and the woman who cuts my hair said, gosh, DJ, you are such a good client of mine. I really appreciate you've been here for 3 years, and you always show up on time, and you always schedule the next appointment. I never have to worry about you. It really means a lot to me that you've been here for 3 years. And I was like, wow, thank you. I didn't really think it was a big deal personally. So when she said that, I was like, wow, that's great. I really appreciate it. I felt good. And then she said, I really wish I had more clients just like you. Now, her mistake, and if this is a mistake, is she didn't follow it up with, if you were me, DJ, how would you find more people just like you? And I would have said, well, I guess I could send out a Facebook blast and say, hey, if anyone's looking for a new stylist, contact Andrea, right? So that was one idea that I had to then work on this particular script on the real estate side. So your goal should be to do this advice script probably, I would say, 20 times over the next month or two, which sounds like a lot. But basically, you're just going to call everyone you ever worked with and find something that they are part of a group, whether it's first-time home buyers or their profession, or maybe they belong to a church organization or they're on a non-for-profit board. I would love to work with more blank just like you. Number one, do you think that's a good idea? And number two, if you were me, how would you go about getting this? How would you go about finding those people? I promise you, if you do this 20 times, somebody will say, oh, well, geez, talk to the HR person at my company. Maybe they'll send out an email for you. Or come in and do a seminar about first-time home buying. Or, how to take advantage of short sales or foreclosures right now. By the way, the reason I'm saying these examples is these are what have happened to people that work here that have done these. We had somebody who was a leasing agent who did this script for a company that the average age was like 23. These are all renters, of course, right? And said to one of his clients, hey, I'd love to work with more guys like you, man. You were just so easy to work with. It was easy to find you the apartment. And the guy said, well, let me just put you in touch with our HR rep. And they have 100 people at that company. And she says, or he said, I'll get you in touch with her, and then, we'll see what happens. Well, she said, hey, come in and do a presentation for us about how to find apartments. And from there, he was able to then get, I don't know how many, but certainly dozens of clients from there. So not to beat this horse too much, but again, the questions are, first is, hey, I'd love to get your advice on something. Can I get you for a cup of coffee just for a few minutes? I'd really love your opinion on this. Then the second piece is, when you meet with them, hey, I'm looking to work with more blank just like you. Do you think that's a good idea? And then third is, if you were me, how would you go about doing this? Guys, it's that simple. And I promise you, if you do this 20 times, somebody will have an unbelievable idea for you. I cannot tell you how many successful agents, and really in all different areas of sales, not just even in real estate, have used this script and become successful with it. So it's not mine. I didn't create it, but I certainly have thought about it and refined it a bit. Go out and use it. And by the way, if you're ever looking at a different firm, we'd love to talk to you over here at Kale Realty. We're one of the oldest in the city, and we really appreciate you listening, and hopefully this was helpful to you. So thanks again. Take care.